The ideal technique to begin is a standing start when you're on the beach. And you can see in this clip, I've used my paddle as a fulcrum to get me moving. We'll have a look at that in slow motion now. One foot is placed over the center of the board. You'll see a slight adjustment of that foot as we begin to move. And we just take a long, even stroke on both sides, really to balance the board and to keep the board in trim. The feet are evenly placed. With the paddle itself, the top hand grips the handle and the lower hand is used to pull the paddle through the water. You can see the depth of the blade as I stroke along the full rail of the board, swapping hands just to maintain that momentum. Where we're not able to do a beach start, typically we'll do what's called a prone start. We'll look at that again in slow motion. You can see lying down, I tuck my toes, feet come up, straight to a crouched position, and I raise the paddle with my hands and take a long continuous stroke to gain some forward momentum and balance. Both those hands are over the paddle so that as I raise my body, I'm able to pull the paddle up with me, and one of my hands will move to the top of the paddle and the bottom one will be in position ready to stroke on the preferred side. A variation to the standing and prone start is the kneeling start. Many people find this easy. You can see it's fairly straightforward, and if we look at it in slow motion, the important thing to remember is the knees placement. Remember to tuck your toes and straight up into that crouch position and raise your paddle as you raise your body, going straight into position. One more time, the knees are positioned. You can actually take a stroke here if you feel more comfortable, but tuck the toes, raise the body and lift the paddle as you come up. The final standing technique we're going to demonstrate combines prone to knees. See here, I take a stroke just to gain a little bit of momentum, straight to our feet, and then stroke again to keep moving. In slow motion, we push off, lift up to the knees, tuck the toes, which is really important part of the sequence to remember. Holding the paddle, straight up, paddle comes up, and then stroke, a long stroke, just to get that forward momentum. So one more time. Onto the board. Often we don't start from a beach position here. We may have fallen in the water and we're lying on the board. So we pull ourselves up to our knees. We take a stroke just to gain that forward momentum. Then lay the paddle across the board with the hands over the top, tuck the toes, straight up, paddle comes up, and a long stroke.